Dawn Lewis here, and today, please excuse my croaky voice, but I couldn't wait to get this gorgeous KennyK Aurora cheeky Christmas card to you. First, we're going to colour this gorgeous image using Copic markers. I'm starting with a new skin combo. I switched to a Copic hex chart recently, and oh my goodness, I'm so happy with it. So I'm starting with E50, moving up to E51, E21, and E53. So E21 is a really nice step up from the E51 through to the 53 because that is quite a leap and a little more tricky to blend. I found this combo to be really, really good, and I probably will be using it a lot more in the future. The other thing that I learned recently with my Copic markers is if you have a chart and you've had it, up on a wall or out in the open somewhere, it's going to fade. My Copic chart, I was trying to choose colours, wondering why it was all going wrong. My chart had faded heaps. So I went and grabbed Sandy Olnock's hex chart. You can just Google that and you will find it. I'll try and pop a link in the comments below for you as well. And it shows you not only which markers you have, but also how they go together in a way you might not have expected. So the little greenery on the hair, I've used YG23, YG05, G14 and G07. It's quite bright, and I've used those same colours in her eyes. I've used G14, YG63 just to try and darken it a little bit, and I used W6 to get a little bit more shading in the eyes. I've given her a reddish hue of hair with E11, E13, E15 and E17. The trick is figuring out which bit of hair sits on top of which other bit of hair and working the shadows under those accordingly. So the little flowers, I've used the same colours on her lips and her dress. It's R11, R12, R32 and R14. So they make a very nice, I want to say salmon pink, but it's not really. It's a really peachy kind of pink, and it's a little bit different as well. So the card, look, watching myself do these videos, the reason I speed it up is I work at a snail's pace. I am so slow. It's painful to watch myself. So I'm not going to make you watch me at normal pace. I do wish I had left more space at the bottom. I print several images at once, and I didn't allow enough space for a really good tear at the bottom of this. So I found the best way to do it was in reverse, using my thumbnail as a bit of leverage to get the paper off at the bottom there. But I have torn it all the way around because I decided to keep this card pretty simple and sitting it on top of the card base. I'm just obsessed with these craft 6x6 bases at the moment. I just wanted to check that it was okay. I'm using a 3mm double-sided tape. And look, I mean, this is sped up 4 times. Look how painfully slow I am. It's terrible. I need to do something about that. I did decide to add a little bit of colour. So I've got a peachy pink cardstock underneath, so I've just glued the card to it and cut out around the edges. I know I normally say don't use scissors, but you've got the card base to help you as a guide. I'm using abandoned coral distress ink, just very, very lightly inking around the entire card. You could do this, I guess you could cut a 6x6 piece of card and ink it and then stick it on. That's just how I chose to do it. And nothing super fussy here. I'm just adding double-sided tape to the back of my coloured image, and it's going straight on the top. The trick is to line it up straight with your typed words, not necessarily with your torn edges. So I did have to move it there a little bit, just check that it was all straight. The last thing I'm adding is some little tiny gems to the roses. I did add one to the right, and then after I added the other two, found that, hey, I've got some variety in this pack, and it was a little bit bigger, so I've swapped it over and placed the larger gem in the center. Now this card is made for KennyK Stamps. We have a beautiful challenge going on in the Club KennyK group over on Facebook. I'll pop a link to that below as well. This is the beautiful Aurora stamp. The font I've used is called MA Sexy, which is kind of apt. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I would love it if you'd give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. You can check out more details on my blog, and I will catch you next time. Bye for now.